Guys, I'm filming this video on Bank Holiday Monday, so if you're watching this before the rate announcement, the rate cut, I'm predicting it now, and if you're watching it afterwards, I told you this was going to happen. Let's get into it. So guys, the Bank of England have decided to decrease, I'm predicting this, but I'm going to publish this video on Monday to show you how I'm in tune with the market and see if I'm right or not. Okay, the Bank of England have decreased the interest rates by 0.25%. That is my prediction. That's 99% or even 100% of what's been factored in to the market. As I told you guys all year, interest rates are going to drop at some time. What goes up must come down. Obviously, the inflationary environment, the Trump tariffs, etc. The whole point of Trump and the Fed, he was trying to influence it and decrease the rates to refinance the US debt. When America sneezes, the UK catches a cold, we always have to keep in line with the Fed. So it was quite inevitable that interest rates were going to come down. It's just a matter of when. Guys, you should have taken advantage of this. I was telling clients, and I was doing this myself, while interest rates were high, there was less demand for properties. We were getting bargain properties. We were putting up with the high rates as we were locking in the capital and obviously getting bargains. Now the rates are going down. What happens when rates go down, guys? So even though it's a 0.25% cut, it's actually predicted that we'll be in a low interest rate environment. Those are the words from the Bank of England Monetary Policy Committee. In a low interest rate environment. What does that mean? So basically they're predicting 3% base rate hovering around there in the long term, medium to long term, or potentially lower, guys. And so what does that mean for property and property investors? Well, guys, if you listen to Warren Buffett, what he says is interest rates act as a gravity on asset prices. So let's consider the primary asset of property. When interest rates are high, there's less demand, prices don't necessarily rise, you're more likely to get bargains. Okay, I was doing this for in fact, when the rates shot up a year or two after COVID, that was the best time to buy. Still a good time to buy, guys. We're still sourcing. If you want details of our sourcing, yes in the comments, and we'll send you our free investment guide. But basically, guys, now the rates are on the way down, you're going to see more investors jumping back into the market, or even new landlords, because the difference, the profit will be higher. Why? Because profit is a function of interest rates for property investors if you're using leverage. So what that basically means is the less your mortgage payment is on an interest-only basis is a month, the more rental profit you will make, because it's the difference between obviously the rent and the interest rates. They're the primary two costs of being a landlord and doing property investing. So we're in a low interest rates environment. Rents are up, rates are down. So what's happened after COVID? Obviously, inflation environment, rents have shot up. I'll put some info on the screen now, but if I just read it out to you as well. Basically, the rent in Manchester, Northwest, where we're buying all over Northwest, 11.8% change year on year, guys. So what that means is rents are outpacing inflation. That's one of the reasons why we don't keep money in the bank and we keep investing in property. Rents never go down. As I said before in videos over the last year, rents don't go down. You'll never significantly, unless it's a marketing play where you put a room on 700, you drop to 650 to rent it. Obviously that 50 quid, sometimes it's not worth holding out for that. But in general, the market rent doesn't go down. Rates go down. So what happens is, what I've been doing and doing for clients is we've been buying properties and we've been putting up with higher rates to get cheaper capital discounts on the properties, knowing that when the rates come down, our profit margin will increase. So over my portfolio, it's probably going to add another 10k a month to the profit. And that's because I've been paying higher rates all this time for the last 3 years after COVID. Now the rates are going down and down and down. Obviously, the rents are staying the same or going up, as in the Northwest, 11% year on year. So my profit is increasing. That profit gets reinvested back into property, and the cycle continues. That's how you grow wealthy from property. The only problem is with that, now we're in a low interest, or we're just beginning, guys. So it's still a good time to buy. It's still a good time. We're still getting bargains. We're still getting landlords exiting the market. As I said, if you want our sourcing or just how we do it, yes, in the comments. It's still a good time to buy, but it's not as good as when the rates were high. And the reason being is that there's more competition now from investors. So certain deals wouldn't stack up or make sense for an investor, now they do. So now you're going to have more bids on a property and you're going to pay higher prices. We've already seen that in the stock I'm selling and trading in auctions. I'm already getting better prices. But as I said, guys, you can make money in every environment. So we're now taking advantage of that to do some trading in the auctions and making good money there. The other thing is, if you're flipping properties, obviously first-time buyers are coming back to the market because now it's going to end up, it could possibly be cheaper to buy than to rent because rents are increasing and rates are decreasing. So we've got, obviously, if you've got a deposit or you can save 10% deposit, it's actually cheaper to buy, or it will be cheaper to buy than to pay rent. So you're going to be competing with first-time buyers. So that's why we really choose our stock as well. And how we go forward in this market and make loads of money is we don't typically buy properties that would appeal to a first-time buyer. We try and buy ex-landlord stock, a bit tired, a bit run down, whereas first-time buyers usually prefer something that's got potential to extend, a nice garden, and is ready to move into. So that's the difference, guys. So obviously, in general, property prices will start to go up, and even if it doesn't go up, you will still see more demand for the good locations, the good properties. So in effect, it will go up, even though it may not show that on a national scale. And remember as well, there's mini markets in each economy. So in the Northwest, where we're buying properties well outpacing the average increase in the UK, it's a mini micro market could be going up 15% if you're buying right in a year. So much better than having money in the bank, guys. The other thing is, people don't want to keep money in the bank anymore because if you were getting 5, 6, 7% on a locked away deposit, for example, which you could get in the last 2 years, and now suddenly the rates are dropping, those saving rates are now decreasing fast because they're pricing in further reductions. So people are not going to want to keep money in the bank where it's deflating when they could put it into an income producing asset like property. So you're going to see more of these savers trying to maximize their money. So guys, as I said, more competition for properties now among investors, more first-time buyers, more profit to be made. It's actually a really good thing that interest rates are coming down. I think it'll hover around 3%. Just looking at the deals now we can get. And guys, I'm actually using LENDLORD. I've partnered up with LENDLORD, guys. Sponsor of this video, shout out to them. But basically, if you click the link in my bio, in my link tree, you will see the link to my LENDLORD and my code. If you put that discount code in, you will get LENDLORD. It's completely free, or you could use a paid version. But basically, it uses AI and it has a really smart mortgage sourcing software on it where you'll see the best rates available for your portfolio. You can do other stuff like predict the capital growth in your portfolio. It uses AI for everything, and you can give it any prompt, and it really helps me manage my portfolio. But the point I was going to make there, as well as telling you that I manage all my properties on LENDLORD, and I'm close to getting 100k a month net profit because LENDLORD's been helping me tweak stuff. I've just been on there and I've seen like the mortgage works 3.48% as a fixed 5-year mortgage for landlords, 3.29%. So guys, if we're paying 3.48% or 3.84% on a leverage product to borrow money per annum, and the assets increasing in the Northwest 11.8%, you can see how very quickly you can get wealthy from property, especially if you're buying below market value. You're borrowing money at 3.48% or 3.84%. That'll probably go down even quicker now because obviously this is the first rate cut and there's probably more to follow. So 3.84%, the asset you're buying is going up 11.8%, plus you're getting rent, plus the rent's going up 11%, plus you probably, if you use us, for example, or you know what you're doing, you probably bought 20% below market value. So you can see how leverage can very quickly, from an initial saving pot of like 30k, which is the deposit obviously, can very quickly grow your profitable portfolio. And that's basically how I built my portfolio, guys. So it's all about using leverage, all about doing leveraging interest rates and beating inflation and buying well, guys. Now, am I rate sensitive? Well, I've got some products on bridging which I'm paying 1% a month for. So I'm not actually that rate sensitive. I don't mind paying 5%. I've got a mortgage at 6%. What I care about is the money the asset makes. So, for example, one of my bridges is on 1% a month, so it's 12% a year when I can get 3.84. Why did I do that? Because I needed to buy the property in 20 days. It's about 100 grand below market value. And guess what? Even on that bridge, it's still making £1,500 a month, okay? It's a 6-bed HMO. When I come to remortgage that, probably on a 4%-ish rate, it's going to obviously more than double my profit. But the point is, I don't mind. I'm not going to say no to higher rates if I can't. You make the money on the capital, on the sourcing of the below market value aspect of the property, not so much on the rates. Obviously, you need a good cash flow. You don't want to run out of cash. Cash flow is a major consideration in growing your portfolio. But at the same time, I'm not that rate sensitive, guys. A lot of people are. A lot of people will turn down deals, they won't do bridging, etc. I've learned to really take advantage of the actual properties you're buying at discount, and whichever, if you have to pay 10% rate, you pay it and then you get onto a better rate and lock it in. Was I rate sensitive when I was remortgaged at 6%? No, because I was releasing cash. Yes, it was 6%. Yes, I was taking a hit on the monthlies, but that money was going to another property to get double the monthlies, etc. Now I can remortgage at 3-4% and probably better, guys. So the main thing I want you to take away from this video is, yes, the environment is looking better for landlords. We all wanted rate cuts. They are on the way. When you're down, you never think you're going to get back up. When the market was, and I've heard this forever since I've started investing over 15 years ago, now is not the right time, this and that, the market's going to crash. It's never ever happened. It's all designed to put you off from people who have no knowledge and are scared and are a bit jealous of what you're doing. But the fact is, when you are down, when you're making less profit, you never think that you're going to go back up. And when you're up, you never think it's going to go down. That's just the way psychology works in investing. You just got to keep the portfolio growing, okay? So it's not really going to affect me too much, as I said. It might increase my profit. It might slightly decrease the amount of deals I can get you guys, but I doubt it. Just the nature of the deals we get and the way we buy. Will it decrease the number of landlords retiring? Probably not. I think most landlords retiring are going to sell anyway. Might have a small impact because obviously landlords were stuck on higher rates and thought this is the time to get out. But inevitably, I think landlords who are leaving for a much bigger reason to enjoy the pot they built up, the cash they built up while they can before. Probably legislation's a bigger driver than that. So that's it, guys. As I said, I predicted this. If you looked at the you need to look at the macroeconomic environment and the micro one. So the macro one would be what's happening in the world, what's happening in the West, USA, UK, China, trade wars. The microeconomic environment is the development going on. Well, you could argue it's macro as well because it's foreign funds, but the development going on in your local area, the Article 4, the policies, the HMO demand for rooms, etc. Put that all together, analyse it, and you'll be on a winning formula. And that's what we're doing every day. That's what I've done since the start. I've always picked good cities, good properties. So guys, yes in the comments. Let me know how interest rates are going to affect you. Quick one on that as well. Rents are not going to keep going up forever now. Why? Because there's more first-time buyers in the market. They might just reduce the demand for property rental a little bit. You can't keep putting rooms up and up and up. You can't have a £2,000 a room when you can get a new build flat in Manchester for that. So just be careful on the room rates and spending too much money doing rooms up. I've always said the way I built my portfolio is stack them cheap and high like Tesco or Lidl as opposed to be Marks and Spencer. Why? Because your monthlies are lower, you got less risk, and you're always going to be full. And then you can start slightly increasing the monthlies, and also you can buy more properties with the same amount of money. There's no need to do 200k refurbs and hope for great commercial valuation, guys. So that's just my piece on interest rates. Hopefully next month, the next MPC meeting will be down again, and we'll be back to printing money just from doing this without even raising rents and etc. So guys, if you want to take advantage of this opportunity, as I said, I can't see these opportunities being around for the next 12 months. There'll be a point where the properties that we're buying off landlords won't be as attractive anymore because they'll be too expensive, or the game of moving tenants on to do HMOs or social housing will be over as well because the Renters Reform Act Section 21, etc. So really do take advantage of now. Buy as well as you can now. Let inflation, let the rent, and let buying well build your portfolio for you. Work smarter, not harder. See you in the next one.